If you don't take the time to deny yourself of all the pleasures of life, most pleasures of life, and you latch onto the desires of your heart, at some point you will lose most of life's opportunity that will be presented to you. You will lose most of it, all because your focus is on the mundane things of life and not of things of value and worth. That's what happens when your desires are exponentially higher than your sacrifice. And most wise men have understood the rules of life and the dynamics involved when playing the game involved. They have come to realize that a man who delays gratification at the end of the day will come out at the end of the tunnel where there is light and where there is reward. And that's why most wise men tend to use the parameter of delayed gratification to attain the height of their imagination. And it takes a strong-willed man, a disciplined man, who has learned to tell his flesh no, who has learned to tell his desires no, for the greater good of himself and his generation. And that's how most wise men move. That is how they move through life. And there's no man who is successful who you would see that has a lot of longevity in life, that you will see that is heavily lashed on his self-desires. It's rare, very rare. We are not talking of the exceptions. We know that there are exceptions to the rules, but the reality is that most successful men are disciplined men, are men who have learned to sacrifice over and over and over and over again down the years through consistency. At some point, if you want to be great in life, remove talent aside, you have to put in the work. You have to put in the reps. That Messi is the one of the most greatest footballer in the world does not mean that Messi doesn't work out. Does not mean that Messi doesn't do some football drills. Does not mean that Messi does not eat right. The same thing is also applicable to Cristiano Ronaldo, who is like a workaholic, full devotion. That is a man who has mastered discipline and the ability to say no to his body. Even at point of exhaustion, he still pushes himself. So every man who you would see that is successful, there is a place of sacrifice. Because most people will say Messi doesn't run that much in the football field, but he does magic. There are a lot of things you don't know that Messi does behind the scene. There are a lot of things. There are a lot of things. Because a lot of people have different ways of expressing sacrifice. Some will require mental fortitude, some will require physical ability, some will require a lot of other form of skills that they have to leverage on. That's why when you hear things like intellectual property, you might think it's nothing. intellectual property intellectual property, anything that has to do with the intellect or the mental energy, it really compounds over time compared to the physical, because at the end of the day you wear down your body. But we are all called to express ourselves in different ways, and that is why sacrifice is important in any man's life. If he really wants to go that far, you must be able to always tell yourself no, deny yourself pleasure at a long period of time for you to see results, the desired results of your heart as a man. It's tough. I won't lie to you. It's very, very tough. That's why resilience is not an easy thing at all. One of the things sports I started to engage myself with, and I started to understand the intensity involved, is bodybuilding. And I realized that for you to build muscle, you have to put in the rep. And as you are putting in the rep, you make sure at the same time you are also eating the proper meals that have the necessary nutrition that will aid in muscle recovery and muscle growth. It's that simple, but it's not simple. It looks like a pill, but its efficacy is beyond what your mind can think of. And that is why sacrifice, a man who has mastered sacrifice will attain the highest heights that life presents to him. The opportunities, he will maximize it well, he will utilize it well to his best ability, compared to a man who is full blown with his desires and indulges in them continuously. A man who has no self-control will be easily swayed by his emotions. He will be like a wind that drifts anywhere, everywhere. That is how his movements will be. He will not have a stable energy. But when you see someone who practices and understands sacrifice, the person has a focused, a laser beam focused energy. And consistency is the watchword. So that's it, guys. We'll see in the next video. Just have to say this so to inspire you guys, because it's really tough in a world where things are getting worse. Economy is getting worse. There is hardship, poverty, hunger, and you're not a Nepo baby. you have to do everything you can do. You have to let go of certain things for the reward ahead of you. And this is one of those videos to motivate you, to inspire you to make the right choice and not to give up. See you in the next video, and thank you so much for your time, guys. All right, take care and stay blessed. Bye.